So what are some of the advantages and disadvantages when we talk about using technology? Because we do need to be intentional about our choice and understand that it's not always advantageous to use it, so we have to think carefully. It captures the details easily. If you have a video camera, then you don't have to worry about missing some of those minute details that you would miss otherwise. More objective than written descriptions, because if you're a video camera, it's hard for a video camera to be biased. They still are biased and can be subjective. How do you think a video camera can be subjective? Exactly, because you are holding the video camera and you are still choosing what to focus in on. When we're watching, doing a video, and we choose to zoom and zoom and zoom on one little detail, we're making that choice, okay, based on our preferences, our biases. But it's more objective than written observations. Can be analyzed and used in a number of different ways because you can produce and allow some other teacher or director to take a look at it. And it's less time consuming than writing. It's much quicker to take a picture or use a video camera than it is to write out all the details. A disadvantage is that equipment can be expensive. You're constantly having to buy batteries. I can't even tell you how many cameras our center has gone through because they drop, they fall, they get in the water, they get sand in it. All sorts of things happen. So replacing that equipment is expensive. You have to have a computer to store all of that information on. It is much more complicated than just taking notes. Some people have a natural aptitude to integrating technology. Others, it makes it so the technology is a barrier for the documentation, and that's not what it should be. It can be time consuming to learn and use. So even though it is time saving in taking in the details, you still have to learn and use something new. And every time you buy a new camera or buy a new camcorder, you have to learn that technology. Or every time the director buys a new computer program to store all your anecdotal notes, you have to learn that. So that can be time consuming. It may also cause unnatural behavior in a child. This has been fascinating to watch happen. When you take a picture of a child, I mean, starting at 18 months, what is the first thing that they do? What do they say? After you take the picture, what do they say? Let me see. Let me see. That's something new in a child's vocabulary. When I was a kid, could you see the picture? No, you took a picture, then it stayed in the film thing for 20 years until someone went and took it to the film shop, and then you picked it up and you thought, oh, this was a long time ago. So it changes their behavior because once they see that flash, what do? I want to see, I want to see, I want to see. And if you take a video, immediately you watch and their behavior can start to change. They start to put on a show. And so a lot of times you can get unnatural behavior. And is that authentic assessment? If it's producing unnatural behavior, it's not an authentic assessment. So we really have to be cautious how we're using technology and watch how the children respond to it. They want to see what's on it. The more you use it in your classroom, though, it can become a part of the children's learning, okay? But I guarantee when you first start using a camera or a camcorder, that is the first thing that they're going to do. They're going to change and it's going to become more of a show. And immediately when they see that first flash, so if you're hoping to take a series of photographs, immediately you do the first flash and they all want to come see the picture. So you've lost the moment. So we really have to understand that. And it may be against cultural values. There are cultures around the world that are strongly opposed to having their photo taken. Some parents do not want pictures taken of their child, even if you assure them they're not going to be going into any type of electronic format. Some parents are very concerned about that. So we want to make sure that we respect the children. Children that are in the foster care system, having photographs taken of them and the possibility of being on social media or being displayed can be something to really take into account. So we want to make sure that we have those conversations with the parents in our program to understand what our limitations are in using technology in our classroom. All right. Remember that each tool leaves something out. So that intentionality is really important. If you choose a camera, if you choose a camcorder, if you choose Post-its, if you choose a calendar, something is going to be missed because of your choice. And as a teacher, we have to accept that's what it is, but we really want to have an understanding that because of my choice in the documentation tool I'm using, I'm missing out on something. Okay? So we want to be intentional about choosing different types of documentation to acknowledge the fact that I need to fill in these gaps. The way we use each tool is highly subjective. Okay? So So when we use a camera, and if we have all the children gather around that art piece and say cheese, is that going to change the documentation? Then a teacher who goes in very quietly, turns the flash on, and is able to take a picture of the children doing action. They're using the same technology, but the way they use it impacts the information they gather, right? So we want to have an understanding of that. What we include or exclude in the photograph or videotapes depends on our focus. So if we focus in on one child and it's a group activity, then that's going to give us different types of information than if we focus in on the group. That's the same type of information that if we choose to document just one child. And again, this is like everything. Using more than one tool really helps to get a complete picture.